You know, whenever we launch a new catalog, we also launch a week of Webisodes. So this is a first look for brand new things.
And we have a very pretty stamp set and an elegant cutting die set.
Yeah, two very different looks, but full of fun and creativity. Come play with us. And here they are.
Yep, we have that stamp set, Floral Doodles, 21 stamps in there, and then Creative Corners cutting dies.
Now we're going to focus on the stamp first. So I'm going to pull the cutting die aside.
So pretty.
And it has just this really fanciful, fun look. And you can see, as we always do in hot off the press stamps, they're silicone based, so they are not sticky, right. And they're going to stamp perfectly.
I have to say, I love that about our stamps. We do have to work with a lot of different stamps here, and ours are so nice.
Nice to know, good to know. And you can see this giant piece, certainly focals, but also words, so you can really complete your projects.
And in this giant piece, by the way, this piece is separate, so you can leave it open, that large label, or you can stamp that in the center of it.
And on the back, you're going to see a project, which actually I'm going to show you right now, that same one. And this is a really nice pairing of 1, 2, 3 of the stamps on the set.
Very pretty and very simply done. It's stamped onto cardstock and then just colored in with Spectrum Noir pens.
And Happy Birthday is what is doing, and then on the inside, Just for You. So this banner is right here, and you can put several of the words in it just as you see fit.
It's just so pretty and fun to cut that out afterwards. I want to point out that you don't absolutely have to cut right up to the inking. You can leave a little distance and make it simple on yourself.
Yeah, just make it easier.
Right.
Now here's a watercolor look. So same stamp, very different finished look. Mm-hmm. And you're going to show something?
I am going to show. Okay. So this was done with the Spectrum Aqua pens. So great sets with lots of different colors. And I'm going to start doing this with the Misty. So I've got whatever stamp platform you have. I have the Misty here. I've got that stamp ready to go and white cardstock. And I've got some of those Spectrum Aqua pens. And what's great about these is that one end has a really fine tip. And there we go, you can see it. And the other end is a nice fat brush tip. And so let me show you how I started this. I've got the red one that we're going to use first on those flowers. Now what's nice about using this with a stamping platform is that you're going to be able to ink and get it all ready and stamp back and forth as you go. And I opened up the wrong end. So the little white line here shows you the fat brush end, and it's kind of soft and really easy to just lay this sideways and really ink up. And I'm able to direct my ink with this wherever I want it to go. So I'm putting it just on the flowers right now, and I can see that pretty well. It's really actually pretty easy to see on the stamp where I want to put it. And so let me do all 3 of those flowers. And then because the first one might be a little, might have dried out a little bit, right before I stamp, I'm going to breathe on it just a little bit. That sort of gets it wet a little more, and then you go ahead and stamp it. Now, if that's enough, fine, but if you want to add more, that's what's great about the stamping platform. Let me do one of those flowers one more time.
You mean the Misty?
And then the Misty stamping platform, right? And then you can go ahead and continue until those are all nicely colored in, and I love that about this. You can just sort of go back and forth. The next thing that Debbie did with this is she went ahead and colored in, used the green to work on the little flower can here. So you can color that in, and once you're done stamping it, as we look at the card, afterwards you can color in all those areas that don't get stamped with the other colors.
I see kind of the gold inside there.
And that's really like a watercolor look. That's just really kind of fun.
So you use the aqua pens. You could also use the little Poom pens, would be the same.
Sure,
so anything that's a water.
Ones, absolutely.
And then on the inside, now this is combining a couple of the stamps, and I really like that. So the little Happy Birthday right here, but then also this spray right here.
So that's fun. And
yeah.
again, just coloring those different elements individually as you're stamping.
It's very, very sweet.
Right.
Okay, now this is just a totally different look. So I just want to lay these out for you so you can see.
1, 2, 3.
This is our Gail. So look what this woman's been up to.
Well, using specialty papers.
Yes.
And letting that black really pop, black and white, and reversing the order of those embossing powders. So I embossed, used a black embossing powder on the silver linen paper, and I used white embossing powder on this great purple circles holographic and on the black cardstock.
Now, I don't know about you, but who would have thought of doing embossing on the purple holographic?
And what I think is really interesting, it is really fun so that those flowers really pop, but also when I embossed, and that's just white embossing powder, it actually sort of picked up the color of the holographic and it tinted it a little bit of a purpley pink color there.
Very
fun. So really fun. And then I did cut them out separately and place them, foam tape them on top of each other on this gatefold card. And I absolutely love, and we have to go back down to the can, the purple jewel dazzles on just some of the little spots on the little can.
And I think this in black with the watering can is just so effective.
Right.
And then on the inside, that great big greeting.
Sort of reverse the process.
Yeah.
Use the white with the black, and isn't that beautiful?
Just
and
really
just
fun.
Adding a little bit of those flowers here is so fun.
That's just great. That's something to write down, people, don't you think? Because
well, it's already written down for you in the gallery, so you'll be able to do this. I do want to point out, it's your day. That's one stamp, and I stamped the whole thing on black cardstock, and then I just cut them out separately and put them on there for a kind of a fun look.
Now, we wanted to use some of the elements individually, so taking that really pretty label and turning it on point so that you can use it, and really going into a very soft look.
Right, it almost looks like suede here because it's using the ruby rose papers, but something different that Debbie did that makes it look a little bit more muted is she used the stamping off technique so that the black ink isn't quite so dark.
So it's more gray.
So let me just show you that really quickly. I've got one of the stamps, and this is stamping off. You're going to go ahead and ink up your stamp, and you're going to stamp it, and ideally I would stamp it on scrap paper somewhere, and then I stamp again right onto the piece of cardstock that I actually want to use, and then it looks gray.
It really does.
And it looks very soft, and then she colored it in, and isn't it pretty?
It's very pretty. She also used the butterflies and the other elements to do a background here, and that's very pretty. I also like this looks like almost vellum. It kind of has a vellum feel to
but
it.
It's the paper. It's that that's a beautiful set of papers. Ruby Rose is really
And then
gorgeous.
on the inside, a little bit brighter, but still with that gray tones. Just really pretty. So lots of different looks. Now we're going
from
to
one stamp
set.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into the creative corners. Now there are 3 pieces, as you can see.
Which I'd like to show you, actually.
Good.
So these are the 3 pieces that they are going to die cut. So you get like a label. It'll also cut out that centerpiece, so you'll have a little label from the center as well. And a corner piece, a 2-corner, a large and a small.
And here's one thing that you might do. So letting those that giant piece come into the center. And like you said, this creates a little centerpiece also.
Right, for dazzles, they can just set in the center there. So that's just beautiful. And this is done on the indigo lace papers, which is just perfect for that. Oh, I love the corners. So cut 4 of those, and it surrounds that focal.
Now this is a 6.5 by 5-inch card. If you want to take it down to a 5-inch by 5-inch card, this is the look that you could get.
Right, you're just sort of pushing everything to the center, but also using specialty papers for that centerpiece. And then
that's the silver ripple.
Right, and then you're going to cut a piece, or you can mat around it. Here we go, that's done. Actually, I believe that this was placed on that black cardstock, and then the mat was cut, and then it was actually separated so that she could foam tape this piece up above it.
Very pretty having that come in, just really, really nice. On the inside, fun to bring that up to a point. That's a nice idea.
And there is that little piece that gets cut out of the center.
So very, very nice. Now, that is Silver Ripple. Look at this, and here is the thing I want to show you.
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful how that was cut through the front of the card? And just the hello.
So it was cut through the front of the card, and then this piece was placed right back on top of it, so that you got that beautiful look. And
stunning.
have it at the opposite corner as well.
And then on the inside, best wishes.
Okay, I'm going to correct myself and how this was done. It wasn't actually cut through the front of the card, because as you open the card,
it's a separate piece.
Yeah, it's a separate piece. We're going to have to get close in here so that you can see there is a line right here. It's because the corner of the card was actually cut off, and then this piece that is this Silver Ripple was cut separately and then just glued onto the edge of that. If you were to try to just cut through the front of your card, it would cut the corner off. So anyway, that's just beautiful.
It is really, really nice, and such a good look. Now, that's the Silver Ripple. I think sometimes when you have a cutting die, especially one that's as intricate as this, the tendency, I think, is just to really stay with plainer papers. And that's perfectly fine, but I think it's so fun to kind of step it up a little bit and see what else can you do, especially if we do that for you. And here is, now, this is a very feminine, very lacy look, but look what happens when you take another look at it, and this is out a brown crocodile.
So how wonderful is that?
Yeah.
Brown crocodile, so very masculine looking, and these are the corner pieces. So here they are. This little corner piece that we've used in a corner everywhere else, you just turn them toward the center, and as they go around, it's like a medallion.
It's just really, really nice. Then using that piece. So that piece you can use night and day, absolutely, because
there's a label for you.
Yeah, it can hold everything, but really nice to let these play together. And going back, this is also out of the indigo lace paper, but again, turning things differently, having that horizontal piece, turning it vertically, letting words go across.
So I love using those script dazzles going all the way across the center. It's just a beautiful look.
And then on the inside, oh, that's pretty.
Nice.
Putting those together.
Again, so those pieces, those corner pieces, now this time they're completely placed right next to each other, so it's a continuous medallion look.
And there's that tiny little label, and letting the letters also span across as it does in the front. So lots of different things.
Lots of different looks with two great sets.
Brand new Floral Doodles and Creative Corners. Now, we didn't try putting them together, but I bet you can do that.
And we'll see you tomorrow.